It's morning time, breakfast time, and don't have much. I really don't have much. See in here, deceiving, the top shelf is only mine, except for that egg stuff on top. That's not mine. But the top shelf, I got leftover Chinese, some nectarines, and bread and some milk. And I just went shopping too. Also, again, looks can be deceiving. Top shelf is mine. That popcorn tin is empty. Yeah. So, life of a starving artist actually is life of a starving artist. And
this pretty much is my reality. I've never really wanted anything else. I've had other hobbies and things, but it's always come back around to me making games. And I've poured everything I've had into it, and with the last 5 years, it's not just become my career anymore. It's become my life.
Let's do a round of quick status updates so everybody's faring.
quick status update. We have 67 fucking days until PAX.
Easy, killer. Easy.
That's our status update.
So now we're down to almost 2 months.
It goes quick. Stuff ready, but what would you say you do here?
Well, I mean, I can't really put anything down on it until, obviously, the mechanics get finished. I haven't had a chance to work on the assets because I've been putting together clips. I have to hand animate it all in Unity. So
It's basically our
okay.
care package from PAX,
Yeah, okay.
and kind of tells you important dates and everything. Gives you a floor plan, who to contact, and all that fun stuff. And it looks like we need to be there.
Things are always hectic. I knew what I signed up for. My name's Richard Cook. I'm an independent games developer, and I have been actively pursuing my career for the last 5 years. Kind of feel like I was destined for it in a silly way. I was born in 1985, the same year that the Nintendo Entertainment System hit the US market. And I was about 2 years old when I first started playing it, pretty much as soon as I could figure out that my fingers worked and how to press the buttons I was playing. Oh yeah. A little bit old school stuff. I mean, PS2, obviously not too old school. Still got my original zapper. That's right, Yo-G gun. One of the first games I remember playing was Mega Man 2, and I was pretty much hooked on those games from that point on. I played a lot of them, and then of course I would get into fighting games with when the Mortal Kombat craze hit, and from there I pretty much just moved right into the 3D stuff when I got my PS1. And that's where I really started to examine the environments and things that I was roaming around in. I would zoom in on some of the textures and try to look for the seams in the models and things like that, but I was really focused on how the game was built. And that's where my interest in game development really started.
You don't have to deny it. We were created to be that way. created?
Being born and growing up in Wichita, Kansas, there really wasn't a scene for that kind of stuff. So I finally decided to take the leap in 2003 when I had just finished high school and enroll in a specialized school for that kind of stuff. And that school was Full Sail down in Winter Park, Florida. 10 years ago, I walked these sidewalks. Well, maybe not this one in particular. This is pretty much the city sidewalk, but 10 years ago, I took classes in that building. I stayed with Full Sail for quite a bit of time, and I learned a lot about what I was doing. I learned a lot of programs and new things. I became really fascinated with it all. But I would eventually leave Full Sail out of my own conflicts, doing things. I was very young at the time and didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do with my life, so I did eventually leave Full Sail in 2004. I came back to Wichita and I spent a few years soul searching and would eventually come back around to the arts because I became interested in it again, and that's when I started working on more 3D stuff. My first 3D models and things were really subpar, and I was still learning, so I hadn't really come too far since Full Sail. And I spent about 4 years sharpening those skills and eventually got pretty good at it. That would eventually carry me into the next chapter of things. Throughout my time searching for a job and improving my portfolio, I discovered a lot about the industry in itself, and I was finding out things about how jobs were regulated and other things like that, and what skill sets were being looked for. And also during that time, I started to see the indie scene start to rise up a lot faster, and these AAA companies were kind of just putting out the same stuff year after year, but the indies were doing something really different.
Indie games have changed AAA gaming and gaming in general by showing the big money people, who oftentimes don't even like video games or don't get them, they just know that there's a market for them, that there's a market for a kind of game that they have never sold before, that there's a market for a kind of game that they would never experiment with because they are too scared to risk their money. Because they're not artists, they're just dudes with money that think this is a way to make more money. But there are people out there now making games because they really want to, without any idea if it's gonna make them rich, because they just can't help it. They just want to make video games, and they do.
I see this most in the resurgence of small, focused gaming experiences. Big studios need to focus on big successes that'll appeal to a large audience. Indie studios are able to focus on a core gaming experience that might not appeal to everyone, but that does appeal to small groups of players in a really big way. And I think that we're seeing this resurgence of small, passionate communities around indie games because people are finding a unique gaming experience that they haven't seen in the AAAs lately.
I know many people who've dedicated their lives to making video games as a way to kind of have a purpose in life. That their goal in the game of life is to win by making video games, and they have lost a lot. They've gotten really sick, they don't have medical insurance to pay for it, they've had to beg, borrow, and steal, well, not steal, but beg, borrow, and make condom commercials in order to fund their games. Their games fail for many, many years, but they just don't stop because they have to do it. They don't have a choice in their mind. It's what they do. It's where they really feel alive, is making a video game. So they're kind of stuck with their brains, their video game making brains, and till the day they die, that seems like what they're gonna do.
Just everything was fascinating to me because I was seeing small teams put out games like Castle Crashers, and one guy put out Minecraft and one guy put out Braid, and they were all great games, and people just started to attract to them. I wanted to see what it was all about, and I wanted to be part of it. So to progress my career, in 2010, I moved back to Orlando. And even after 5 years, it still felt very familiar to me. And it still felt very much like a second home. With my past here and everything in place, the atmosphere just felt great for a new kind of growth. Orlando's always been kind of a second home to me in a way, because I moved here in 2003 whenever I went to Full Sail, of course, and then I left when I went back to Wichita. Even though that was my hometown, I didn't really feel at home there. I don't really know how else to describe it. It was foreign to me. So whenever I decided to come back to Orlando, I decided to come back here because I wanted to come back to a place where I felt the atmosphere was conducive to my creativity and my imagination and all the big things I want to do and stuff. It took me a while to grow, but this was definitely the place that I'm glad I did it in, because it still does feel like a second home to me, and I hope it stays that way. If I ever travel the world or do other things, then I hope I can come back here and say that this place is still very familiar to me and that I still feel at home here. I spent a lot of time building myself up, and eventually I came around looking for a new group to work with. I kind of scoured the internet looking for things and eventually came across this group called AdaptivElite.
Now, as a game company, we started back in about 2010, where where I had a great idea for a very large-scale game called Warspace. Now, Warspace is kind of like this massively multiplayer online game that every person in their right mind wants to make when they're first getting into video games. Like, this is the holy grail of all games to make. Well, I still want to make that game. I'm not going to lie, I'm here today because I have an idea, I have a vision for a game company that I want to make out of nothing. I want to make something out of nothing, and this is my attempt at it. I mean, in my company, I want to encourage everybody to participate to their fullest. If they're passionate and this is really what they want to do, then I really want them to get involved with the company. I want them to do everything they can. I want them to, feel rewarded, to feel appreciated. I want them to feel like they've contributed something in major ways. We don't have the luxury of time where, older people, not everybody lives at home with their parents. I still kind of do, but we won't talk about that. I mean, we're just all strapped for cash, and we're trying to make something work, and having no overhead, that's one thing, but having nobody to back you is another thing, because you are putting your heart and soul into it, but you can't even afford to put ramen noodles in a bowl and eat it for a whole night. That's soul crushing. That hurts, because you do have a love, you do have a passion for something, and you can give your all and give your life to it, and you feel like sometimes it's never going to reward you, and then just boom, out of nowhere, your total world can be completely turned around. There's no magical light at the end of the tunnel without putting a little bit of effort. You're going to get your feet wet, you're going to get your hands dirty, and when it's all said and done, it's going to change you. It really is. It's going to turn you into something you thought you never could be, but I mean, it's going to make you or break you.
Things were finally happening and materializing in a good way, and I knew I was going the right direction, even with this endeavor that I was taking on. I just didn't know quite yet just what it would bring to me next.
Wake up time. It is 4:27.
I'm definitely not a morning person, but for the past 5 years I have had to be it many times. I work to get by, but really nothing else. My problem is between game development and this, I lose sleep, and it affects my health. But I continue on because there's nothing I can do about it. And unfortunately, ambition doesn't pay the bills alone.
Hurts to do that. Another morning in the day of the grind, the week of the grind, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. On my way to work at 5 a.m., 5:16 to be exact. Really tired and I'm really out of it. Of course I'm late once again, but yeah, it seems like this is becoming a regular thing. I don't know what it is, it's just that I don't give a shit about this job anymore. I really hate it to my core because it's become so much more than just a job that I have to wake up early for. I'm going here every day caring less and less about what I'm doing here. My emotional take on it is affecting my reality of it, I guess. And I don't care about the job anymore, so I'm doing more things like this to, I don't know. I'm not like trying to get fired or anything, but I wouldn't care if I did. I've been so busy with the game and game stars and all that, trying to keep up with that. I've been so busy with it that I haven't really had time to just try to replace it with another job, even though it wouldn't be extremely difficult for me to do so. But maybe it's because I'm just trying too hard to do all this other shit.
This has been part of my daily life for a long time. The technical term is merchandiser. I stack things on shelves and rearrange them. That's more or less the description of my job. For so long, I've been emotionless in the workplace. Like a zombie, just there because I'm there. I'm not motivated to do what I'm doing there because my mind is elsewhere. I'm thinking about the game, thinking about other things, my finances, my personal life. What else can I do except complain?
I gotta post the game. I gotta
break that down further as we get further along. At least we have them set up of what the things we need to do in ultimate control of the game. We may break it into three things: sequences and mobile controls being separate from the main stuff we can just get coding in right away.
The days and the nights I work on the game after my day job are just difficult.
And Travis wants simple.
I'm so tired from my full work day and waking up so early that I can't even focus.
And I agree with him. I think
My mind is still going, but my body is completely shut off.
So what are, I'm sorry, the axis,
And that has a real effect on everything.
axis, AXIS,
Some days I'll do what I can to get my mind off of it. I'll exercise, or maybe I'll go outside and take a walk or something. Just anything to clear my head, to keep my mind off of the fact that nothing might change at all, and that I might fail.
It's the end of another long day. It's actually somewhat productive. Of course, I had to work, so that kind of took away from it. That sucks the most, but I got a little bit done after I got back from work. And something tells me I'm going to repeat this process tomorrow because it's 1:02 right now. I have to be up at 4:30 a.m. to go to my first job. Starting the week again there on Monday, so I'm doing that shit all over again this week. And then I'll be working Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week for my second job too, so I don't get a single day off this week. Which means I have to work doubly hard on this stuff we're doing now for like the asset store and stuff we're going to be selling through their licensing, our own assets and stuff to sell through there. But anything to get a little bit of money on the side. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully it works out and we can, not have to worry about this shit so much. But here I got my list for tomorrow. I could try this right here. I try to write this every day because I have a really short-term memory for one, a really bad short-term memory, and I always forget. I'll forget something somebody told me 5 minutes ago. So it's just the way it is with me. But I have to write myself down what I have to do tomorrow and stuff like that, so I can remember and actually stay on track to do that shit. So that's my list for tomorrow. Gonna have to finish the press kit for Progenitor Police, and send out the kit and some interview questions to some of the publications that are going to be covering us. And then, of course, I have to work on some asset stuff. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's going to take up my whole days because it's a lot of tedious stuff putting it all together, and it's just whatever it is. But that's going to be my day tomorrow. It's going to be made relatively tough by the fact that I'll have 3 hours of sleep, three and a half hours of sleep, and a full day of work under me. But we'll see if I don't pass out before 3 o'clock. I'll try to jump around a little bit or something to get my energy up. But right now I'm going to bed, but it's going to be another day tomorrow, and that's where we're going from there. Boy, do I look like shit. About 7 o'clock. Enjoying my breakfast. 79 cents. Can't beat it. There's a Starbucks right over there. See? But I'm too fucking poor to afford it. So, free grocery store coffee. That's what I have. It doesn't taste too bad though. I do want some Starbucks though. I won't lie.
There's one thing that needs made clear. It's that I drink a lot of coffee. I mean a lot. I probably have about 2 to 4 cups a day on average. And that's just, that's normal for me because sometimes I'll even get up to 6 just to get me through the day.
Some mocha.
But I need it to keep going, at least I feel that way. Because I don't get barely any sleep at night, I still feel like I have an obligation to work on the game. And that just keeps going and going, and I drink more and more coffee and energy drinks and things like that just to keep myself on automatic, I guess. Every day throughout the week goes on like that. It was a pretty exciting thing when we released the trailer for the game. The game in question is Progenitor Police. So the story goes that myself and Anthony Drummond, the owner of the company, were one night just kind of having a pitch meeting and just talking about game ideas and things we wanted to do. And up to this point, I had wanted to do a side-scroller game for something because I had played a lot of those games growing up. I was really into the Mega Mans and the Kirbys and things like that, and I really wanted to do something like that. So somehow he ended up on this random game name generator site that generated some 3 random words every time you clicked through it. And eventually, after a few clicks, he came across one that spit out Progenitor Police. And I don't know what exactly it was, but something in me right at that moment said, that's the game we're making. So I ran with it, and right away I made a concept the same night for the character Mitchell Harris, who had this alter ego Mitch Hammer, who was the protagonist taking on all the baddies. Now, being a 3D artist, I did grow up drawing 2D art and things traditional in a way, but I never really got too good at that, and I kind of didn't really get the grasp of it or something like that because I always sucked at it. So when we decided to make a 2D game, I had to reach out to some friends of mine. And one of those guys we reached out to was a guy I've known for about 13 years at this point, since high school, and he was a great traditional artist and a great 2D artist. So we did bring Daniel on at that point to help out with the 2D art and the animation, and he actually took my original concept and just blew it up into something I never thought it could be. All of a sudden there were all these shapes and colors and things that I'm just simply not capable of doing myself, but it fit perfectly the vision I was going for. And so it quickly came together, and he brought Mitch to life, and all of a sudden we had a moving Mitch. We added his attacks and gave him things like shooting, and then we started to add in the world and build in the environment and start to add in things like baddies and everything for him to fight. And it was all coming to life very fast with the help of our programmers Steve, Dustin, and Travis when they were working in the mechanics. The game is a reflection of everything I had growing up. I wanted the action. I liked the action. I liked the feeling of being victorious after putting in an effort and coming out on top. Mitch is just a guy who gets a chance to be a hero, and I think a lot of people had that in their younger years. Maybe they're going to be big, famous, doing something ridiculous, but it was relevant to them at the time.
Okay, the game is about a janitor that has to save the world from a germ infection thing that mutated in a classroom. You know, it's not really about the plot. It's just kind of a fun premise. I thought it was pretty funny, and he has to save the world from this infection because he's a janitor, so he's got to clean up the mess. He's got to take out the trash. Some of my influences, I mean, I drew from my experiences in my youth when I was a kid. I just playing Mario and Battletoads, Ninja Turtles, you know, Donkey Kong. I was thinking about all these games, but stylistically, definitely, I got a big influence from the guys that made Castle Crashers, because that was just an awesome fun game that we'd play, like me and my friends would all play it, and you know, just a fun beat 'em up time. And so that was definitely a big influence as far as the art style that I went with.
The way the game is portrayed is actually pretty important to me because I had a big imagination growing up. Like, I could go outside swinging a broomstick around acting like I'm a ninja or something. And I always had fun doing things like that. I didn't need a lot because I had a big imagination. I wanted that big color and that big action, the stuff that excited me whenever I was a kid. I wanted to put that into the game, and hopefully people will get it and know that it's supposed to be something fun and exciting for them to play. If it goes how it's supposed to, then it will be something I can definitely say I can be proud of whenever it does come out. And that's really all I want.
Another Monday morning. Just woke up, but I only got an hour and a half. Probably a little less than that. But not very much sleep tonight. It's now 4:34 in the morning on Monday, and I'm just very tired still, but I have to get up and go, unfortunately. So that was an interesting morning. Turns out I go and get myself some coffee in the morning here on my way to work. It's, I'm already like almost running late to work, and so I have to take about a minute or two just to get the fucking coffee, but nice embarrassing moment, get up to the register and find out that you have insufficient funds. I didn't have enough to buy myself a fucking coffee. So I got back out and I checked my bank account, and turns out I'm negative $55. Because those fuckheads decided to charge an overdraft fee without giving me any kind of grace warning period or anything. This shit happens all the fucking time. This is definitely not the first time this has happened. My fucking bills, everything, just eating away at everything I fucking have. Just don't know what to do about anything. I can't do anything. Make a little money, I go back into the negative again. It happens all the time.
Money has always been a weak point for me. I either have very little of it or I don't have any at all. Sometimes I even have less than that. It just bothers me that I've been able to burn through more money than I gain on a constant basis for the last 10 years of my life. And I don't know where it all goes. I do my best to manage it, and I'm not that good at managing my money, but I do realize how fast it can go away.
This right here is a poor man's dinner.
And it's because of that I can get through the week on $20 worth of food, just buying bread and cheese and things I can use over and over again. Every little luxury I've had it occasionally, and I've had to go back and do things like resell it just because I always came to a point when I needed the money again. There is very little I have, but I am grateful for what I do have, and some of the things I'm just very, very lucky to have.
I'm going to go around a couple errands today. I actually just wanted to say, this is my car. Yeah, it's nice and fancy, 2012, right? Oh, what? But Richard, I thought you were a starving artist. I'm actually very lucky to have this car. You see, my old car before, it was a really big piece of crap. And so, I went through a time where that car had broken down on me several times, and I had to get the engine replaced twice because each new used engine that they put into it was a junkyard engine and pretty much just a piece of shit. It broke down like after 3 months. So I think finally after the second one failed that they had put in, I got fed up with that. Said I need a new car. This isn't working. I can't do this stuff every 3 months. So
went shopping around for a few weeks, and I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, then I want to get something that's going to last me a long time, no matter what I do. And fortunately, I had my dad there to put his credit on the line, and I put the money on the line, and we got things taken care of, and I ended up with this. But I don't consider it a luxury or anything. I'm actually very, very grateful to have a car like this. Because I never thought I would ever have like a new car like this, and so it was kind of surreal to me when I first got it, and that was something that I really appreciated, and I still do. It's something to say how my parents have supported me, like especially my mom too, because she's always been the kind of person who would believe in me no matter what I did. Like, I've had some really crazy ideas about things I wanted to do with my life and my career and stuff like that, but every one of them she's always supported me through in every way that she could, because she always believed that I was bigger than just getting a job or something like that, or going into the service or something conforming, but she always knew I was bigger than that, and she always believed in me, and I'm very humbled and grateful for that, because nobody else really did. And I have gotten a lot of support from her as well in terms of things like finances and stuff when I really needed it. She's given me her last bit of money whenever she was in financial trouble, and she still is struggling and things like this, but she's always given me every bit of her support. So I've always made it clear that whenever I'm successful, then I will be paying her back for that, even though there's no way I can really repay her for all the help she's given me and all the support she's given me. There's no way I can repay her for that, but I'm going to do the best I can, and when I'm successful, then I'm going to make sure that she's taken care of as well. Even though I am grateful and lucky with what I do have left, the worst thing about having little money is really the unforeseen events and circumstances that come forward, like my computer crashing a month away from PAX. Those things can go beyond your control sometimes, and then everything comes down on you, and what you thought you had control of just comes raining down at once. That's enough to make a person snap and break down. Once a fucking again, I just got a new goddamn cooling fan for this piece of fucking garbage. I am fucking irate right now, because if my hard drive fails, if it failed, then I'm in a heap of shit, and all the footage that you could have seen, in addition to this one that I'm taking right now, is completely gone. I didn't really have much of a reason to back up. I just got all these new goddamn components about a month ago. So, the fuck am I supposed to do now? I am fucking pissed. I need a punching bag. I need something. I'm so fucking pissed off. I want to fucking throw this goddamn computer through the window, because all it's ever given me is issues. It's every fucking thing. It's every fucking thing in the entire fucking world coming down on me in 1 fucking second. I can't fucking handle it. I can't fucking handle it. Nothing ever fucking goes right. For not even a fucking minute. I can't have anything go right for a minute. There's always fucking some little fucking thing right around the corner that just fucking reaches out and fucking grabs me by the damn throat while I'm fucking walking along. I can't fucking do anything anymore. There's always something. There's always something. If it's not the people around me, it's the fucking things I use. It's everything. It's the situation I'm in. It's the job I have. It's the fucking everything. I can't focus. I can't do my fucking work Without something happening, I cannot do anything. I'm done. I'm fucking so close to being done with all this. I'm just gonna fucking shoot myself in the fucking head and get it over with. I'm so fucking done with everything. Nothing is going right now. Just want a moment of fucking prosperity for even just a minute in my life would be the most amazing fucking thing ever. But it's never gonna fucking happen because as long as this shit keeps fucking happening, where all these little fucking things cannot fucking cope anymore. I want to fucking scream. I want to fucking break a goddamn window. There's no simple solution to it. You wait so long sometimes for something good to happen that you end up convincing yourself sometimes that nothing good will. It definitely is a constant struggle. You have your up days and your down days, but the down days are still the worst. All you can really do is just sit through it and wait. And time goes on. I work all week on everything as much as I can. And it still seems like it goes by so fast that there's just not enough time for me to do everything. I'm the kind of person who thinks that when I'm sleeping, I'm wasting time because there's just so much left to do. I can't stop because I'm like put on automatic. I've been this way for the last 5 years of my life. Even just more so going all the way back to Full Sail, 10 years, but of course I did take that hiatus. But the last 5 years of my life, I've just been automatic, and I can't stop doing what I'm doing. And everybody always tells me, oh, you gotta go take a break, you gotta take time off, you're gonna get burnt out and things. But I don't see it the same way, because I know that whenever I can take a break is whenever I succeed at what I'm doing, and I haven't succeeded yet. I've come very close, and I've been struck down quite a few times, and it's taken a toll on me. It really has, but I'm the kind of person who's just not going to stop until I get what I get, until I get what I want. And that has a lot of things that need played out for that to happen. And I know right now that it's coming to a head, and things are finally happening. But that's when I got to put in the most effort. And if I can't do that, if I give up, then I might as well be dead. There's really nothing else. It's just this. So when I succeed, I will take a break, and I will enjoy every last minute of it, because I know I will have deserved it at that time. I did finally get my computer back after some time, but the time was definitely lost, and it seemed like it had been so long. We kept working on the game, but the clock seemed elusive. We were just down to the wire before we knew it. 12 days away from PAX, we're really pushing it. So we are 9 days out from PAX now. A week, exactly 1 week from today. What seems like an impossibility in only a week. Pretty damn amazing. It never really leaves your mind until you have that perfect version of this game. So it's very worrisome for me, and it's very stressful for me. At this point, it was getting very stressful. We were working on things that shouldn't have really just been happening that late in the process. I mean, here we were saying that we were going to have at least a week of testing before PAX, and instead we had several bugs that were still prevalent in the gameplay. We were fixing things, and then they would break, and then they would fix them some more, and they would break again, and it just seemed like a whole endless cycle that just kept happening and happening. We were all losing sleep one way or another, and we were all losing our energy, but we knew it was going to come down to it, and we knew what we had to do. Sunday was our meeting day. We met at 2 o'clock like usual, but this time, since we're only a week out from PAX, we all have been busting our asses all day long, and there are a few of us who are left. I think 3 of the 6, 3 or 4 of the 6, 5 if you include myself, and that's pretty much it. We're all here, we're all still working. Some of us have been taking breaks, 30-minute break or so every now, but this is what I mean. This is like a third job for us. This is our passion. This is our goal, and all this stuff to get this taken care of and done right. And when it comes down to crunch time, being a week out, we all have to do this. We all have to keep pulling forward as much as we can. And we're all just kind of working and shooting the shit and just keeping ourselves in the development mood, if you will. I'm working on importing some death sprites for our first level boss to get him ready for the demo. The fact that I can control him with my keyboard says quite a bit, because we managed to achieve this in just a few days. So pretty happy with that. But will it get done? We have 1 week to find out. It became very evident to me during the last week that we were going to be struggling a lot. Some unforeseen bugs and prominent other things really started to hold us back a lot, and it got very stressful down the last few days. Those last hours were very detrimental. I kept losing a lot of sleep, and it just kept going on. It's definitely one of those, every second I'm here I hate myself more mornings. You start to see the time slipping away, and then you just put every hour you have into it, and then you hit a wall. Isn't this how life goes, right? If you can't tell by simply looking in my eyes right now, I haven't slept for about 30 hours now. And I've been really stressed out over some recent happenings. Some politics unfolding in the team chat room, and really stupid childish things, but somewhere along the line we merged our two programmer scenes, their scripts and all that stuff, and some things got broken in the process. So we kind of went from having this 90% working build last night to having this 50% working build today. This is my last night before I head to Boston in the morning. I need my sleep. Obviously, if you can't see that, I do need my sleep if I'm going to be on the road for that long tomorrow. I've been pretty much just keeping myself up with coffee all day and energy drinks, and I feel like shit, but I'm focused on the objective, and it's kind of just like I have to get this done. I'm running out of time. I am out of time. I'm going to be driving for the next 2 days. This is it. This is it for me. So if it's not done tonight, then it's not going to get done. So I am probably going to be up for another 4 or 5 hours at least. Whenever you're completely out of it. I was shaking earlier because I was so angry about some of the politics and some of the stupid shit. Just people, just like they just like to act out. So I had this really a lot of adrenaline pumping through me, and maybe it was the coffee a little bit too, but I was shaking, and I'm still kind of like a little shaky, but I finally calmed down, but I still feel like hell, and I just need to get through this day and get the last few things done that I can before I pack all my shit up and hit the road tomorrow. Yeah, this is actually pretty scary feeling. I got really dizzy all of a sudden, and I started breathing a lot harder. I don't know. I feel dead right now. I really feel like it's just completely gone. My body's just gone right now. I need to nap. I need to do something because my body needs rest or something. It's not keeping up anymore. Now I'm just hallucinating, and between that and just trying to clear things up. When it came down to the last day before I had to leave, I really just had to throw my faith into the programmers because they were the ones who were going to save this project or let it slide. So with 5 hours of sleep and being 3 hours late to leaving, I went ahead and left Orlando. Here we are, driving to Boston. I actually got a really late start today. I didn't personally get a late start. I fell asleep around 2 o'clock last night, and I woke up at 7. And from the minute I woke up, it was pretty much just scrambling to get everything pretty much in order. I was just sending emails, promoting the Kickstarter as much as I could. I had to design the entire level, which wasn't really a huge feat or anything, but it was kind of a matter of quick experimenting. I had to do a lot of that stuff, and I hadn't even packed yet at this point, so I had to do all that too. I had to tear down my computer, I had to pack the clothes and everything I had to pack my snacks for the trip. But I did all this in like the course of like 5 hours, and I just left my house about an hour ago, so we'll see what happens. But man, kind of feels nice to finally get off all that stress and get out on the road. And I will be in Boston in approximately 20 hours. Yeah. While on the road trip, I thought about everything that had brought me up to that point. I thought all the struggles that lay behind me, and I thought about all the struggles that lie ahead. I really thought about everything. It was really actually stressful and exciting at the same exact time. I pushed through the 2 days of driving and made it to Boston at 1 in the morning the day before our setup. With the road trip behind me, before I knew it, it was here.
We are entering the Boston Convention Center. I don't know why I'm talking like this.
I don't either. What's happening? We're walking. It's pretty legendary.
This place is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Pretty crazy.
Alright, so
Go in that big.
that's what we got.
We don't know where the hell to go.
Walking into and entering the Boston Convention Center for the first time, after seeing it in movies like Indie Game, I was just overwhelmed by how awesome it was. I really couldn't explain the feeling I had at the time.
He doesn't fear like
My
Chuck
name's
Norris.
Joe. I like to party.
The feeling of seeing the signage and everything in front of you and walking through the convention center and seeing the expo hall for the first time is just, it was such a surreal feeling because you wait so long to get to this point and suddenly you are right in front of it and you see everybody constructing their booths and you realize how much larger than life it really is.
Hard rubber and wood. That sounded disgusting.
Hardwood and rubber, you mean?
Hardwood and rubber. And lots of
What else?
cases.
Yeah, what else do you need?
And then when you get down to your own booth and start constructing it, then you kind of realize how much of a part of it you are now.
This is where we're going to show.
This is where awesome's gonna happen.
This is where awesome is going to happen. And look.
You want to own that moment because it's such a great feeling.
I'm with you. Take a picture.
Photo ops, of course, going on. This is a special moment. Has to happen.
In that moment, no one can take that away from you. It just gets better and better.
PAX Day. Look at all the cars filling this parking lot. There's going to be lots of people here. That's very exciting. And I'm about to turn the corner to see all the lines, but I saw them come in, and it's really crazy seeing all the people out there around the side of the building, kind of just like anticipating.
I couldn't take the smile off my face the whole time. The people and the atmosphere just overwhelmed me. It was so amazing to see something like this playing out right before me. Fortunately, I got to breathe a sigh of relief as the build tested stable before the doors opened to PAX. And we were on.
Look at everybody power walking.
Just hours in, I was immersed in it. I was up on the top platform overlooking the entire crowd and was so taken by the moment.
This was worth the struggle, I'd say. Amazing.
Knowing that you are a part of this massive event in PAX is self-defining for what you work so hard toward. We were all there representing our creativity and everything we put into this. Even the little things couldn't stop us.
Standing behind the curtain to our booth here, we just had our first game-breaking bug of the weekend. Respawn point, somebody spawned into the floor. And yeah, we couldn't really get them out of it, so we had to reset the game. But I think we expected this to happen as far down to the wire as we did. But it wasn't, it's really not all that bad because we had 95% approval on it. And a lot of people have been able to get through the level just fine. So
Since this is only the first one, I'm not gonna cry too much about it. But I think if this continues throughout the day, I'm gonna be a little nervous. So hopefully that doesn't happen much longer. But
Seeing people's reactions to the game was great. It was fun just watching them all enjoy something you had a hand in making. You feel like it can't be topped, and then you get interviewed by a gaming website, and it tops it.
I am Amy with GameSkinny, and we are here live on the floor at PAX East 2013, and I'm joined by the team over at AdaptivElite, and their new game, Pro Janitor Police, just sounds absolutely crazy, and they're going to share a little bit of that with us today. So, how in the world did the game Pro Janitor Police come to be?
The story is kind of funny. Actually, one day I'm just browsing the web, and for whatever reason, I thought I'd just go to a random game name generator site, and I started taking down names, and I just threw them at my lead designer here and artist, Richard, and he picked one out of the blue. He's like, Pro Janitor Police. We're going with it. I'm like, okay. So we just grabbed the name and we ran with it. And that's basically where it came from. It's not the greatest story, but, you know, just the fact that one of those random name generator sites would say, here's the next cool game that you're about to make.
Nice. All right. So how has that name inspired the game design?
Well, the story actually revolves around our main character, Mitch Hammer.
Okay.
And he starts out as Mitchell Harris. He's just kind of like that regular school janitor. Not a glamorous job or anything like that, but then you have the miraculous circumstance that happens with the viral outbreak of the germs and everything. And they start to mutate, grow in size, and take over the school and the whole city and everything. He has to don this person, Mitch Hammer, and assemble his team to take out the virus threat and everything. So he's out all fighting them all the time and all kinds of things like that. So
awesome. All right. Very cool. So how has it been preparing the game for PAX? I mean, did everything pretty much go smoothly or according to plan?
Not at all. Not at all. We had the art more or less pulled together around January, but we had a lot of trouble finding a consistent programmer up till now, and we kind of threw a Hail Mary with this guy we just found, and he really helped to pull the game together a lot, and we pretty much more or less had the programming for the game completed in 2 weeks leading up to PAX, and we were fixing bugs the night before PAX started. So it was really a rough journey. I went through a lot of emotions about it, but we're here now, and the game's getting a really positive response. I'm really happy about that. So, what's been like the most engaged or most favorable response you've seen from a potential player? The art style. People like that a lot. The quirkiness of it, and the fast-paced action and everything. People like a lot as well. Very cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with us today, and best of luck with the game. Great. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
On the last day of PAX, so ingrained in the moment, it was difficult for me to find words to sum everything up.
Day 3 of PAX, we're about 2.5 hours from closing time. I'm getting a little sadder by the minute here. Watching this all come to a close is pretty crazy, but it's been such a great weekend, and I'm overwhelmed by it all. But once we come to a close, I guess I'll clean up everything here. And all the people will go home, and we'll continue on. Goodbye, PAX goers. Goodbye, gamer friends.
Leaving Boston, I started to think about everything that I had just experienced. The drive home was one of many great memories and everything that I was trying to hold on to. I thought back to the months before PAX and everything that I went through. I thought about the struggle and all the lows, and I thought about all the great times I went through at PAX and all the great people that I met. I thought about my time after PAX in Boston and how great that was, and everything came together in such a way that I couldn't really comprehend it being any more perfect. In approximately 25 hours, I was back in Orlando. When I pulled up to my house, everything caught up to me.
I'm officially back to normal, shitty life. Just pulled in. I almost don't want to get out of the car because it's pretty much signaling it into all the good that happened over last week. It's more or less the final signal for it that I'm officially back in this normal rut that I've always been trying to climb out of. So I'm actually back in my own bed now for the first time in 2 weeks. I actually found myself when I was entering my room and just now lying down on the bed, started to get very depressed. I think it's that I had this amazing grand experience in Boston. Not just with PAX, but after PAX too. I saw a lot of the city, and I did a lot of things that were pretty much perfect for me. Everything fell together very well. I feel very let go from the experience now. It doesn't feel good at all. I want so badly to return to what I had last week. So, I guess the moral, if you will, of that whole thing: hold on to the moments you have. They go by way too fast. No matter what you do, they will go by way too fast. You need to hold on to them for all they're worth. Because once they're gone, they're gone. And then they're just memories.
There's no rule set for it. If you really, really want something, then you do it. You go for it. Because the idea that you have to work 50-some years to enjoy your last 20, I think that's bullshit. And I'm of the belief that if you really want something and you need to go through hell to get to it, then go through hell to get to it. Because in the end, you're going to be able to enjoy the rewards of this thing because of all the effort you put in. That's really the way it should be. That's how people should be about their beliefs and their dreams and the things that they want to do. Yeah, that's how it should be.